a series of excellence in education and learning designed just for you all by Division A of District 98. We present to you our very first session, Why So Serious, by Toastmaster Rajshekhar Mamidanna. Toastmaster Rajshekhar Mamidanna is a Toastmaster since last 12 years. He belongs to Elan Toastmasters Club in Hyderabad. He's a professional stand-up comedian and an improv artist. He's also a district level winner of Humorous speech contest in 2011 and also a former area director. He has been a keynote speaker at the annual District 98 conference Eloquence 2019 at Pune and has conducted almost 200 shows across India and abroad. And the list goes on and on. Get ready to learn about humor in speeches and to get our funny bones tickled with a professional stand-up comedian. But before I call upon our esteemed speaker for tonight, I have few announcements for you all. First, you can send in your questions to me on personal chat that you would like to ask Toastmaster Rajshekhar in the Q&A session. Send your question along with your full name. Second, the timer for today's meeting is Toastmaster Adil and the Zoom master is Toastmaster Adit. And third, please stay on mute throughout the session and only speak when you're called upon, else you will be muted by the Zoom master. Now, without further ado, I would like to call upon our very special speaker for tonight. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Rajshekhar with a huge round of applause.
Hello, everybody. Hi. So I think you can follow all the announcements which she made, but one thing I think probably you guys can switch on your video so that at least I know that you guys are laughing or smiling. Otherwise, whenever we do Zoom shows, because last one and a half year we have been doing a lot of Zoom shows, online shows. And some people join, but they join doing whatever activity they are doing already. We had one show where one guy joined while washing dishes. So it was like very bad, you know. So at least I know that all of you are focusing and everything. And I don't know how Toastmasters quickly adapted to this entire Zoom thing. I think within span of 1 week, there are already Zoom meetings happening, which was great. Because for stand-up comedians, it took us some time, you know. Because we are so used to speaking on stage, off stage, speaking on online meetings was very tough. And especially on Zoom shows, because when we do a show, off stage show, like that is offline show, only I will have mic. Here everybody has a mic, you know. And some people in middle of the show, they switch on the mic and they start telling their jokes, which is very tricky thing. And sometimes what happens in Zoom shows, we charge them 300 or 400. They'll pay 300 and now they are only telling jokes. So now it's like there is no job satisfaction, though we are getting money. And I admire Toastmaster meeting, but though one thing I don't like about Toastmasters Zoom meetings, and that is at the end of every meeting, there'll be one guy who will come up with an idea. Guys, let's have a picture. And then they'll take a screenshot. And did you guys realize that the guy who is taking screenshot is the only guy who looks good? The rest of us, we don't look good at all. We are like picking our nose, scratching our head, like we are very blurred. But the guy who is taking the screenshot is fantastic. And I think that is one thing which we should stop in Zoom meetings, man. Let's have a picture. Why do you need a picture? You already had a meeting, no? Just go. And if you want to take a picture, tell everybody. When everybody is posing, then only you take picture. Okay, fine. I can see some people switched on their. I have like some wonderful backgrounds. This is actual background. Mine. This is not. I've never got used to Zoom backgrounds because sometimes when you put a Zoom background, your hand vanishes. You know, your shoulder vanishes. There was one time my head vanished. So people were listening to me, but they didn't know from where the voice was coming. It was very tough. And Zoom shows, I think it took some time for me personally, because we do some corporate shows now here, whatever, I can see your names, right? Some people come up with some strange names. I had one meeting where Amitabh Bachchan was there. And when he switched on, it was not Amitabh Bachchan, so it was somebody else. And there was one audience member who was coming to every show of mine with a contemporary news item. Like, for example, there was one time he came as Bill Gates. There was one when Bill Gates got divorced, he attended my meeting as Bill Gates. But now, fine, man. Like, what can we do? Zoom shows, we have to adjust. But I'm really glad that now we are able to do live shows also. Because for comedy, I think it's important that I see people right in front of me rather than they're sitting at home. And sitting at home, I think, though it is comfortable for you guys, I think you guys get too comfortable sometimes. There was one show guy, there was one guy who was watching my show on a mobile and he kept the mobile on his belly. And so I am looking at him in a very awkward angle, because I'm not looking at his face. I was looking at his nose and nostrils. Like it's so awkward. I told him, sir, please turn off your camera. I don't want to see your nostrils at all, please. Okay, but last 1.5 years has been really tough for most of us because pandemic. We did not expect that something like this will happen in our lifetime, right? Because we are chilled out, we are doing a lot of great stuff, and suddenly pandemic. And now every time I see the way people are wearing masks, I'm increasing the pandemic for another 1 or 2 years. I saw one guy who was wearing a mask, and I thought, okay, this guy is wearing a mask, and he removed the mask, he sneezed and kept the mask again. Thank you, sir. That is what the masks are for. You should remove the mask when you are sneezing. Thank you so much. And there was one guy who was wearing 3 masks, and none of those masks are covering his nose and mouth. Like that guy's prepared for the third wave, technically. But I think he might be the guy who is creating the third wave also. And on social media, all of us have gone bonkers. We don't know what to do and how to behave on social media anymore. Like Instagram, do you remember like when it started, like pandemic started, everybody was doing dalgona coffee. Why are you beating a coffee? Tell me first of all. Like we take coffee to beat stress. Here you are beating the coffee itself. If filter coffee is the purest form of coffee, then dalgona coffee is like a domestic violence of coffee. And some people, they're getting married and posting on Instagram. See, I appreciate your enthusiasm that during pandemic you are getting married, but please don't do overacting on Instagram. I saw one couple who married in pandemic. After 1 month, they are celebrating first month anniversary. By definition, anniversary means 12 months. What is first month anniversary? And one person, like, they create a new word, monthversary, it seems. Hey, hello, what are you, Oxford Dictionary? Relax, no? And I saw one post by a couple. The girl is appreciating the husband. Okay, oh my God, like you are such a great husband. You are the best husband in the world. Happy birthday. Hey, what do you mean by best husband? Relax, no? Like you cannot compare like that, right? And some people, they just get married and 6th month anniversary they are celebrating and they keep posting, oh, you are my soulmate. First of all, yours is the arranged marriage. Arranged marriage means there will be no soulmates. It is just a compromise of dowry. What are you posting, Gauri? Relax, no? And I think there is this one particular social media platform which nobody knows what to do anymore. That is Facebook. You remember Facebook has become irrelevant, man. In Instagram, everybody is posting pictures. In Twitter, everybody is hating each other. In Facebook, we don't know what to do anymore. Like we are just doing Facebook Live of this session. Why? Because that is the only thing. Nobody watches Facebook Live. I'm sure here at least 29 people are there. Facebook Live, 2 people. Who are the 2 people? Neha Bhatt and moderator in another device. That's it. Like these are the only 2 people who are watching. That's it. Facebook Live. See, we can do Facebook Live, but we cannot make Facebook alive again. It's dead. It's gone. But I remember when Facebook started, it was fantastic, right? Like when Facebook started, it was great. All of us migrated from Orkut to Facebook. And it was such a great experience because we could connect to all our friends. But now if you see, everybody is posting whatever they want to. I saw one update by a girl waiting for a cab. What should I do? What am I, Ola cab driver? I'll drop you and you'll give me 5-star rating. What should I do? And some people, they make some dish. There's one guy who made idli sambar. He clicked the picture and uploaded on Facebook. What should I do? Lick the screen? Can't you invite me home? There's one guy. He is going out of the city. I stay in Hyderabad. and there's the airport name in Hyderabad is Rajiv Gandhi International. At the airport is updating at Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. And some people do overacting. Bye bye Hyderabad. Yeah. Hyderabad is also telling you bye. Don't come back again. But the worst kind of people are couples only. Again on Facebook. There's one girl who went to honeymoon with her husband, hopefully. So she posted on Facebook saying, enjoying in honeymoon with my hubby. Already not getting married. I don't encourage this kind of people. I immediately commented, wish I was there between you guys. Okay, so I think now I'll stop because I think I cannot just make you guys laugh. I did make you guys laugh in the last 5-7 minutes because a lot of times I do session and people wonder where is the humor. So I thought I just wanted to prove it to you that I can make you guys laugh. Okay, now that I have proved it to you that I can make you guys laugh, now we will try and analyze why I was able to make you guys laugh in the next 30 minutes. Okay, because whatever I spoke till now, it did not just happen spontaneously. There must be something which I'm doing which made you guys laugh. And because it is Toastmasters and because we need to follow certain rules, what I'll do is I'll try to structure my entire session while we are analyzing the first 7 minutes which I did. Cool? At any given point of time, you have any questions, you guys can either type it in the chat or you can send it to moderator and I'll take those questions in the end. And don't worry, I'll answer as many questions as possible because we have time. Okay. And I don't think my session will take that much time. So we'll spend more time in question answers. Cool. So, but whatever I know about basics of speech writing, I will share it with you guys. Okay. I'm sharing my entire knowledge. I don't care that you guys will be competition because I don't think Toastmasters are competition for stand-up comedians. No, so I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Toastmasters is a very good platform to try humor because in Toastmasters, the beauty is if it works, it's humorous speech. Otherwise, it's an inspirational speech. You can become a division director and district director later with the same speech. So that's how it works in Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is a very good platform to try whatever you want to. And I've been a Toastmaster from what 2008, 2009 now. So it's almost like 12, 13 years. And I've given a lot of humorous speeches. I have spoken in a lot of clubs. When I was the president of a club in Bangalore, for 6 months, I would have given at least 120 speeches in different clubs in Bangalore. And all those 120 speeches are humorous speeches. Sometimes they don't work and they become inspirational. And then one of the area directors will come and say, oh, you are a great speaker. Thank you so much. I'm like contesting for the area director next year. So that's how it works. So it's a great thing. And so now today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you some basics. I'm going to tell you just 5 steps of how to go about writing a humorous speech. Okay. So the first one, even before we sit down to write a speech, there is one thing which we need to ask ourselves before we sit down to write our speech, and that is in every speech, I'm sure all of you would know that there are 2 types of purposes in any speech. One is the general purpose, the other one is the specific purpose. You guys are aware of it. I'm sure if you are Toastmaster, I'm sure most of you are aware of it. Moderator Nidhi is saying, I am not aware of it. I don't have any purpose. Okay, fine. That's okay. Uh, Even I don't have any purpose, so it's fine. All of us, we don't have any purpose anymore. Pandemic is the only one which has purpose. Anyway, fine. So there are 2 types of purpose. One is general purpose. The other one is specific purpose. General purpose, we have 4 types of general purposes. Okay. First one, to inform, to entertain. Second one, to inspire, and to persuade. These are the 4 types. Okay, these are not important. Don't worry. You don't have to remember. You don't have to write down. I'm just telling because you need to know. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me what is the difference between motivation and persuasion? Because inspiration and persuasion. Sorry, I classified right to entertain, to inform, to inspire, and to persuade. Can anybody tell me, or if you can type it in the chat box? Is the chat open for everybody? They can type in the chat box. Yeah, cool. What is the difference between inspiration and persuasion? Can anybody tell me quickly? Or else I'll only tell and then we'll move on to the next one. Nobody's typing, or you guys are slow at typing, or you are...
I can try. Motivation will have a general purpose. Inspiration will have inspired to do something specific.
Okay, Pinky, I think you are a great... did you do engineering by any chance? No, you should have done actually, because you would have been a great... You would have got like 90% in engineering if you had... I mean, the same question which I asked, you put it in different words and told it as an answer. That's great. Brilliant. I think that is how I got 84% in engineering, attendance anyway, but fine. I don't want to tell my marks. So persuasion involves calls to action. That's fantastic. Natasha has rightly said. Persuasion always involves call to action, whereas inspiration will stop at the thought level. Cool. But this is not important. We are not worried about the general purpose of the speech, because by default, whoever gives the speech, wherever they give the speech, they will have a general purpose by default. But what is important for us is the specific purpose. If you don't have specific purpose, you don't have the right to take the stage. As simple as that. Now, what is the specific purpose? The specific purpose of any speech can be derived by asking yourself a question: what I want my audience to do after listening to my speech. Like, for example, even this session has a specific purpose. I want my audience to know how to write a humorous speech after listening to my session. That is my specific purpose. Now, whether you'll be able to write it or not, that's a different story. If you'll be able to write, then I would have achieved my specific purpose. If you did not know how to write, then I did not achieve my specific purpose. There are still some areas where I need to work on. Cool. So as a public speaker, your goal is not to win a ribbon, not to win a competition, not to win an election. Your goal as a public speaker is to go on stage and achieve the specific purpose which you determine for yourself. As simple as that. Cool. Tomorrow, if somebody asks you, hey, what is the specific purpose? What is the goal of a public speaker? Tell them to achieve specific purpose, not to win a ribbon. All those things will come eventually. That's a side effect, not the main goal. The main goal is to achieve the specific purpose. Cool. Okay. Now that we have determined the specific purpose, now we will go to the 5 steps which are there and how to go about writing a humorous speech. Step 1, topic selection. Obviously, you need to select a topic when you are speaking about anything, in fact, and more so for humorous, because the more relatable it is, the much better it is for you, right? So, like, for example, when I started in the beginning, I spoke about 3 main topics. Number 1, I spoke about social media, Instagram and Facebook. Was that relatable to most of you? Yeah, it was relatable, right? And I also spoke about Zoom meetings, how Zoom meetings are, and how people do overacting in Zoom meetings. Those are all relatable for you. Yeah. So if you see, I spoke about something which we are all able to relate, like Zoom meetings and social media. So the topic selection was spot on. So the thumb rule for topic selection is 80% of the audience should be able to relate to your topic. There will be some audience in every meeting. No matter which topic you choose, they won't relate. It's okay, leave them. Don't worry. We don't have to worry about everybody. Out of 10 people, 1 person will always come to comedy show to take offense only. That is their main motto. Why are you going to comedy show? I want to take offense. So there will be people like that. So ignore them. Okay, so you don't have to worry about them. So your goal, 80% of the audience, if you feel can relate to your topic, you have done a good job. Don't worry. Cool? That is the first one. Now, second one. Once you selected a topic, obviously you need to determine what is the specific purpose of the topic. Through this topic, what you want to convey to the audience. What is the point you want to convey to the audience? Like, for example, when I spoke about Zoom meetings, what was the point I was trying to convey? The point I was trying to convey was how difficult it is for a stand-up comedian to do Zoom shows. In that one, I made fun of few people. That's a different story. We'll come to it later. But my point was very clear, how difficult it is for stand-up comedians to adapt to a Zoom show. And when I spoke about social media, my specific purpose, how irrelevant or relevant the social media has become in the last 1.5 years during the pandemic. So I had what I want to convey to the audience. Cool. These are the 2: topic selection, and then what is the point you want to convey to the audience through your topic. Cool. These 2 are very important. Till now, everything is clear, no? Okay. Now, for every topic you select, you can come up with some observations. Like, for example, if I select a topic called traffic. Now, top of the head, I'm just trying to improvise. Top of the head, one observation which I could see is there are a lot of potholes on the road. Like, I'm sure all of us, no matter which city you belong to, we all know that on the road there are a lot of potholes these days. Good. That's one. Second thing you realize is the way pedestrians cross the signal when the signal is green. They'll stop you, but they want to cross the road. That is something which you can. I think even the Lucknow girl was trying to do that. If some of you are following the news, okay. So, so if you see the pedestrians, how they cross the signal. And the third one is, at every signal there are beggars now. Now, these beggars, sometimes they're trying to sell stuff. So we don't know whether they are beggars or entrepreneurs, or maybe entrepreneurs who became beggars. So these are the 3 observations which came at the top of the head. Okay, I'm sorry if anybody is an entrepreneur. I'm also an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, not making any money at all. Okay. So these are the 3 observations which came at the top of the head. Traffic. Cool. Like that, for every topic, For every topic, you can come up with a lot of observations. So you need to note down those observations. What to do once you note down those observations, we'll cover it in the next step. And the next step is come up with an example for every observation. Come up with an example for every observation. Let us say your observation is the way pedestrians cross the road. Now, the example which I can come up with, this could be a generic example, which like you can just talk about everybody, or it could be a personal example. Like for instance, I drive a bike. I drive this bike called Bullet. So especially when it is green and you're driving a Bullet, you're trying to beat the signal. At that point of time, one guy, he'll come and he'll show the hand. Like he'll show the hand and he'll get angry at us. Hey, wait, and then he'll cross the road. Okay, fine. You take a U-turn. Once again, the same guy. He will once again stop. Hey, so which means double dhamaka. Same guy is stopping me 2 times now. And he's a pedestrian. You understand? If you say this is an example, specific example for one observation called how pedestrians cross the road. So what you need to do is, do you have friends? Most of you? I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes some Toastmasters, they don't have friends. So that's why they become Toastmasters. So it's fine. Okay. Anyway, so most of you, I'm assuming that you have friends. You have a good life. So what I do, which always work for me is, once I select a topic and once I come up with observations and examples, I keep talking to my friends. I keep talking to them. Hey, this is the observation, this is the example. Is it relatable for you? If I talk to some 6-7 friends, and out of 6-7 friends, at least 5 of them say, yeah, it's a wonderful man. It's relatable. Then I'll take it to the speech, whether it is a humorous speech or a serious speech. Cool. Let's say, for example, I shared the story with 6 people, and all 6 friends, like they say, hey, what is this? Then I don't take it. Even though it's relatable for me, it may not be relatable for them. You understand? Like for example, okay, let's take Neha only. Like if I call Neha and I talk about, hey Neha, these days I'm losing a lot of hair, right? Like she may not relate to it because she has hair, you understand? But I don't have hair. So I need to talk to somebody who doesn't have hair. Then they will be like, yeah, man, even I don't have hair. And then we'll form a team. Like, we'll create a WhatsApp group. The bald is whatever, like, or bald and beautiful, whatever. So you have to talk to people. You have to come up with examples which are relatable to most of them. So keep talking to your friends. So a lot of preparation goes into talking to your friends. That's why you need to make friends. And a lot of times my friends, I keep calling everybody. Sometimes some of my friends, they block me. That's fine. I make new friends because process is important. We cannot skip over process. Process is important. So you make new friends. You tell them also stories. Cool. Okay. Now we have covered few things. Topic. After topic, the point you want to convey. After that, you have covered with the observation. You come up with observation. For every observation, you write an example. Now these 4 steps are common for any kind of a speech, whether it is a humorous speech or a serious speech. These 4 steps need to be there. These are basics of speech writing. Even if you are attempting an international speech contest also, these 4 steps were there by default. These are basics. Whatever I told till now are basics. What separates a humorous speech from a serious speech is the 5th step. And the 5th step is where I'm going to talk about the joke technique. Okay, a lot of times people come to me and tell that, hey, Rajshekhar, I think my jokes did not work because I did not deliver properly. Hey, Rajshekhar, my jokes did not work because audience are dumb. Hey, Rajshekhar, my jokes did not work because judges are too serious. Whatever, you say whatever. But I think a lot of times the joke don't work because of the technique. We mess up the technique. Now, what is the technique? Now, every joke is divided into 2 parts. Every joke is divided into 2 parts. The first part is called setup. The first part is called setup. Now, let's say, for example, if I tell you that in engineering, I got 84%. Now, all of you are like, oh, wonderful. Oh, he looks like an intelligent guy. And I tell you the next line, I got 84% attendance. Now, that's the second part of a joke, punchline. Every joke is divided into 2 parts, setup and punchline. Setup is basically where you take entire audience's mind, thought process to one level. And punchline is basically you deviate from what they are thinking. Now you take any example which I have given in the past, like when I performed in the first 10 minutes, all the examples, it made you laugh because you did not expect the punchline. That's called twist, setup and twist. Okay, like for example, when I told you that in Facebook, everybody updates a status. There's a girl who updated a status waiting for a cab. I'm sure most of you would have seen. The moment I said, what am I, Ola cab driver? That you did not expect. That's why you laughed. Okay, in the beginning also, in the Zoom meeting, when I was talking about the scenarios, where I was telling that there was one guy who attended a Zoom meeting and they start talking, telling their jokes. Okay, we all attend Zoom meetings. And the moment I said he started telling jokes that you did not expect, that's why you laugh. Basically, setup and twist. Twist is basically what audience don't expect you to say. Most of the jokes fail because we tell something which audience expect. That's why it fails. So you need to come up with a twist, or we don't set it up properly. You know, our setup is pretty vague. You're not like clearly setting up. Audience are not at one level. Like for example, if I tell you I have a car, which car came to your mind? Depending on whichever car, some people like maybe BMW, some people Tata Nano or auto rickshaw, both are same, whatever. Depending on the car you drive or depending on the car you want, some car would have come to your mind. But if I tell you, I have Maruti Swift, then which car came to your mind? For in all your minds, Maruti Swift only came, whichever color, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is called setting up. The moment you set it up properly, then you can give a twist properly. Cool? So this is the fifth step. Now we are covered to 5 steps. The first one, okay, because this is a Zoom meeting, I'll only tell. Fine, whatever, man. This would have been great, when I'm doing a live session and I tell first one and everybody answers. Usually everybody answers because everybody was paying attention, not like this meeting. Okay, fine. Anyway, so the first, the first step is topic selection. The second one, you need to know the point you want to convey through your topic. Third one, observation. And fourth one, for every observation, you come up with an example. And to this example, you apply the setup and twist wala thing. So examples have to be written and rewritten. First time when you write an example for an observation, it may not be funny, but that's okay. You still haven't applied the setup and twist concept to that example. The more you apply setup and twist concept to those examples, the much funnier they become. So you apply the setup and twist, you talk to one of your friends and they'll block you. You talk to another friend, they'll also block you. So you lose friends, but you're getting jokes. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry. So if you see here also, you did not expect something, that's why you're laughing. Every joke which worked in this meeting till now, it worked because I set it up in such a way and you did not expect that what I'm going to say next. Every joke which did not work, it did not work because of your IQ levels. I'm sorry. See, here also there's a twist. Here also you thought maybe I will tell you that I did not set it up properly, but I blame your IQ levels. You did not expect that I would say that. That's why it worked. You understand what I'm trying to say? So everything which works, it works because I set it up and I gave a different twist. So that's how it works. Cool? Till now all five are clear? Okay. Now there's one more aspect which I'll talk about and then probably we'll go into question answers because that's where a lot of learning is there. So one more aspect, I don't know. I hear this in a lot in Toastmasters and luckily for me, my mentor was not so adamant on this particular aspect of speech making and she encouraged me, slowly nudged me to get away from this particular aspect. Nothing against it, but I think it's a very important thing which we need to discuss. That is, a lot of people feel that humorous speeches are about body language and voice modulations. Do you guys agree, or do you think there could be some other way, or whatever it is? So I think it's a gray area. A lot of people say body language and voice modulation is important, and I've seen in Toastmasters who have taken this body language and voice modulation to the highest level. Oh, body language is important. See what I'll do. Bolke, they go on stage and they run entire stage. They're covering entire stage because somebody told them you need to cover the stage. Now they're covering the entire stage. Like I saw one guy, he was walking from this end to that end. 7 minutes speech, he would have walked 70 kilometers. That day his Fitbit is like crashed, like it's gone. Like, hey, you are walking too much, you are going to get a heart attack. Like because he's covering the stage. Somebody told you need to cover the stage. Like just cover with a like whatever, man. Like so some people do overact, and because voice modulation also, some people they do a lot of overact. Voice mod, like don't do overacting, just do voice mod. So some people do that. So how to go about it? What is the middle way? What is the middle path? There must be middle path, right? So we cannot go to the extremes. The middle path is very simple middle path, or you'd be surprised to know, oh, this is it, yeah. And the middle path is very simple. So I have one thumb rule, which I'm sure most of you would have observed in Toastmasters or in any forum where you have seen a lot of people speaking on stage and off stage. A lot of times when you hear somebody speak on stage, they might be making a great sense and you meet them personally and then you feel somewhere that they are different person altogether. You know, they are doing something on stage and off stage. So which means most of the time the thumb rule which I follow, which I learned from my mentor, is that your on stage personality should be an extension of your off stage personality. So whatever you're off stage, believe that your off stage personality is enough. You are enough the way you are. You don't have to add anything. You don't have to subtract anything. You are enough the way you are. Now, what you have to do is you have to learn how to rely on your strengths. Like, even if you meet me off stage, I'll speak like this only. I'm like speaking whatever the way I'm speaking you with you. That is how I speak off stage, because I don't prepare for on stage. Because I know that whatever I know, I'm sharing. And initially, when I used to when I joined Toastmasters and my mentor Dr. Vijayashri, I asked her, ma'am, what should I do? Like, my English is very bad. And Rajshekhar, she was like, Rajshekhar, your English is not bad, it's worse. I think, but you should rely on your strength. And I asked her, ma'am, what is my strength? And she said, Rajshekhar, I think your strength is shamelessness. Like, yes, ma'am, I am shameless. I said, that's it, Rajshekhar, go on stage and be shameless. Like, and I was shameless, and that is my strength. That is my biggest strength. And I've attended a lot of Toastmaster meeting. I have given speeches. I've taken up Toastmaster of the day. And in every meeting, there's one guy called R Counter, right? R Counter and Grammarian. So if my jokes are so good, this R Counter and Grammarian, they'll come and say, oh, there are no mistakes only. There are no R's only. I know there are some 100 R's. But they did not even focus on them because I was making them laugh so much. You understand? Which means the moment you focus on your strength, even the world will forget your weakness. You understand? No? So that is why whoever you are, whatever you are, I don't even know most of you personally, right? And I don't even know Neha personally. I've never met her. Like, I never met any one of you mostly. I think so. I have to search the participants list, but still. But what I can tell you for sure, and I'm telling you honestly, is that whatever you are, whoever you are, it's enough. It's enough. I urge you to carry the same personality off stage to on stage. And when that happens, now we will know something good about you. We'll know something wonderful about your life. But if you try to be somebody else on stage, we are missing the kind of person you are. So don't make us miss who you are. Please be the same person off stage and on stage. Try at least. That is the secret of body language and voice modulation. I'm sure all of you got angry at least once in your lives. All of you got angry? Yeah? Okay. Now, when you got angry, I never get angry. So, but when you get angry, okay, I also get angry. I'm just kidding. So, when you get angry and you're shouting at somebody, you don't think which voice modulation I need to use, which finger I need to use. You don't think all those things. No? Emotion will help you to choose a finger, which is most of the case middle finger only. And emotion will help you to choose voice also, words also. You won't think about whether I'm pronouncing properly. All that natak is not there. Your emotion is taking over you. So that is the simplest way where you can practice body language. Whichever speech you are giving, go on stage and be with it. Give fully, be emotional about your speech. And the moment you are emotional about your speech, voice modulation, body language will automatically taken care. Even now, I'm sure most of you will agree, whatever I'm saying, I mean it. That's what I'm saying. And that's why whatever my body language and voice modulation, I don't even care what it is. It's coming up naturally only, no? You understand? I did not practice all these things. I cannot practice. Nobody can practice. You see? So this is something which I learned from my mentor. And I'm really happy that she was my mentor. Because afterwards, I met a lot of other people who tried to change it. But my mentor, she was always, hey, thanks, Rai. Remember, you don't have to put the screen in between. Generally, I tell my timer to show me the time after the end of the session, but that's okay. Okay, so these are the 5 points which I want to talk about. 6 points. Okay, we'll just quickly recap. The first one, select a topic. Second one, try to convey a point through the topic. Third one, observations. For every topic, come up with observation. For a humorous speech of 5 to 7 minutes, probably I'll come up with 15 observations. Out of those 15, I'll zero it down to 3 after talking to my friends. And next one, for every 3 observations which you have zeroed in, come up with examples. And to this example, you need to apply this setup and twist wala concept. Cool. Once all this is done, whatever speech you have come up with, believe in that speech and deliver it with full emotion. That will take care of body language and voice modulation. Okay, I'll just give you a few references. There's one comedian called Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg is one of the best stand-up comedians we had until he died, because he died. So in US. So one of the key things about Mitch Hedberg is he would go on stage, and he has so much stage fright that he would go on wear goggles, and you could see that his hands are shivering. You could see his legs are shivering. But he kept doing shows. He had a HBO special when he was alive. If he had been here now, he would have had Netflix also. But you could see he's scared on stage. Where is body language? Where is voice modulation? So, which means you can go on stage. You can be still afraid of what you are saying. You can be still afraid of the audience. You can still be one of the best comedians. And we also have a lot of comedians. I myself know a lot of stand-up comedians who don't move much on stage. They just stand at one point, no matter how big the stage is. They don't cover the stage. They cover the stage through their content. You believe in your content. Content is the king. And once you believe in the content, or queen, I'm not like a male chauvinist or something. I'm a feminist also. So king or queen, like it's up to you. So I just told it because it's something which has been used from long time. Don't judge me. Huh? Okay, yeah, fine. Whatever. The point is, yeah, believe in your content. Cool. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, I'll take them. Any question, any kind of questions.
Okay, so we do have some questions that have been sent to me on personal.
Okay. Those are personal questions or like questions for me?
Questions for you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Some jokes will be like this free session only, not so.
Okay, so the first question to you is from Toastmaster Shruti Shrivare, and her question is, how to structure humorous speech and what should be the ratio of jokes and the story plot for a 7-minute speech?
Okay. So there are a lot of speeches which I've heard where there's just one story, and in that one story there are a lot of jokes. So there is no ratio as such, but if you can make people laugh, 1 minute, one joke, that's enough actually. I think I used to have a goal that if I give a speech in a contest, a humorous speech contest, there will be 1 minute silence for the judges. No, that 1 minute should not be silent. That was my goal. So I used to go with that kind of a goal. And if it's not 1 minute where judges are marking the ballot and the crowd which is there behind you, they are laughing, obviously judges should mark you in the top three. What is the option they have? So opening and ending should definitely have great jokes, that's for sure. And the structuring of a humorous speech is same as any speech. And in fact, in the first three steps which I covered, that is observations, uh, topic, observation, and example, that is the structure which you need to follow. Now, a lot of times it depends on your skill also, because it is a skill at the end of the day. That is why I asked you to talk to your friends. If I tell a joke, if I get one joke, let us say for example, and if I talk to a friend, I can form a story around that one particular joke. Then suddenly what happens, the joke, if I tell personally, like it just finishes in 10 seconds. But if I weave a story around it, it may go up to 1 minute. So that is how you build. Like generally a lot of times what happens, we go from generic to specific. I think in humorous speeches you should go reverse, from joke to other stuff. That's something which might help you. But nothing beats talking to your friends or your mentor, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Keep talking to them. And when you talk to your friends, you cannot be a toastmaster, right? And when you cannot be a toastmaster, then a lot of jokes will come. But if you are trying to be a toastmaster, then a lot of protocols will come. So go for jokes. Protocols will come later when you become a district officer. So
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Rajshekhar. That was a very detailed response.
So one, sorry, I'm sorry to stop you. So one example which I want to give. So like I was mentioning, opening and ending should definitely have jokes. So when I gave my humorous speech in 2011, I won the humorous speech contest. So the speech contest, the speech topic was about marriage, how I'm not getting married because of my profession, and how my profession is coming in between, whatever. So my ending line was, because it's a Toastmaster, no? So I told them, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm not married. So if you know any girl, please let me know. And because I'm a Toastmaster, I promise that in our marriage, there won't be sex, religion, and politics. So this was the line which I had. And in that 1 minute, nobody was silent. They were like cheering and hooting. So obviously I won that contest. So the moment I finished that line, I know that I was going to win that contest. There were 8 more speakers after me, but I know I won. No? And judges were my friends. So that's okay, fine. Sorry. Yeah. Next question.
Okay, so the next question is by the Division Director, Toastmaster Neha.
Okay.
If we don't prepare, can we prepare pointers? We have a lot of questions for you lined up.
Okay, I'll answer quickly.
Yeah.
Short and precise. That's a very nice way of telling that Bakwas fellow don't take too much time. Just try to answer. Thank you. I think Nidhi, you will become a district director. Please aim for it. Okay. Like when you plan your career in Toastmaster, you have all the qualities to be a district director. Okay, fine. So if you don't prepare, can you have the pointers? I myself don't prepare. I generally don't write my speeches. So I don't, like I said, most of my content is by pointers only. I'll just have some examples. I go with the flow. Even when I won the district level speech, I did not prepare. I did not write. So I don't write word to word. No, I'm not a professional. That's why it is like that. I am like that. That's why I became a professional. So it's the other way around actually. It's not because I'm a professional, but because I'm a lazy guy. I cannot remember what I write. So I just go with the flow. Like for example, I may have, okay, I'll speak about social media, I'll speak about Facebook, I'll speak about Instagram, and I'll go on stage and I'll keep speaking about it. So that's the thing. So it's okay. You can have pointers, and I'm sure most of you are now by this time, if you are Toastmaster from last few years, I'm sure you would be well equipped with a lot of examples and stories, right? So without anything, also, I'm sure you can fill some 45 minutes. 7 minutes is nothing. Okay, sorry, Nidhi. Yeah, next question.
Not at all. So the next question is by Toastmaster Mehlam. Uh, and the question is, since you said be the same person on and off stage, what if the person off stage is so boring?
Wonderful. Boring is beautiful. So why do you think boring is bad? Boring is great, yeah. Like we need boring. All of us need boring. Look at the kind of excitement people overacting celebrities do. You just be boring, no. So I'm sure from boring also you can come up with. I think a lot of boring people come up with some great stuff. You should just believe in yourself. And also, let's say for example, you don't take it like a end goal. You see, like when I say be the same person off stage and on stage, I never said that don't work on yourself off stage. Like let's say for example, my English was bad in 2011. It is bad now also, but I'm shameless also. So I have worked on my some of my pronunciation or some of the English I had worked. It is a better English speaking version of mine than it was in 2015, but I worked off stage. So then, like if let's say for example off stage I had become more disciplined, that will somehow impact my on stage also. So you keep working on your off-stage personality, not to become a good speaker, but to become a good person. And whatever you're working on off-stage will eventually come through on stage. So that's what it is. And it doesn't matter if you're boring, if you're bad, if you're boring is a great content for humor. That's how you should be. It's fine. Boring and proud. Sorry, Nidhi. I think I just got carried away. We'll go for next question.
You apologize, you're just answering the question.
Okay, I think I'll send you a mail, apology mail. Okay. Yeah, next question.
Okay. So the next question is by the area director of Area A2, Toastmaster Utkarsh, and his question to you is deadpan humor or emotive comedy? What can be more effective?
So both can be effective, but I just want to address Akshay Singh here, who said that the boring company is after all valued at 920 million. Sometimes we think joke is funny, but yeah, anyway. So when you are talking about this question, deadpan humor or emotive, I'm sorry, Akshay, I'm just trying to roast you, man. Okay. So when I, sorry, sometimes stand-up comedian comes through, so don't worry. These are all just jokes, okay? Don't take offense. Okay. Oh, sorry, Nidhi. I think I should focus on the question. So the question was deadpan or emotive. Both will work if they are done properly. I know one stand-up comedian called Sai Kiran, who is from Hyderabad. He never expresses anything in his life also, on stage also. Like it's just unexpressive. He's like when you see his facial expressions are as good as Katrina Kaif. No expressions at all. Like, but he's very effective because the way he writes is fantastic. So it all boils down to that setup and twist wala part, which I told. That is the most important thing. If in this session, if there is any takeaway which I want you to remember, that is the setup and twist. Irrespective of the kind of person you are, if you can do the setup and twist well, then you can make anybody laugh. So as simple as that. Cool. Yeah. Next question.
So the next question to you is, the same question has been asked by Toastmaster Tosif and Toastmaster Prachi. And the question is, should the speaker smile or crack the joke and remain serious?
So I would prefer the second one, because what if you crack a joke and you smile and you are the only one smiling? Huh? So better. So sometimes what happens is you think it's a joke and then you laugh because it's your joke, but nobody else laughs. So I don't know. It's the kind of person you are. Let's say, for example, if you are enjoying your joke so much that you are laughing, then that's fine. But you are smiling to indicate audience that it's a joke, then I don't think you should do that. So I, as much as possible, try to stay in the emotion of the joke. Okay, like for example, in the beginning when I was talking about social media, I was actually ranting, right? I was ranting about couples that they do overacting about month anniversary and all this stuff. I was ranting. Like I can laugh when you guys are laughing. Otherwise I won't laugh. I would think that this is a serious speech. And a lot of times it happens in Toastmasters actually. In area contest, I remember in the same year which I won the 2011 contest, at the area level, I thought I would lose because I went and I gave a speech for 7 minutes. Nobody moved a muscle, like complete silence, like nobody laughed, and I was going bonkers. I was covering the stage also at that time. I was doing all kinds of stuff. It was probably the most well-structured speech in my life, but nobody laughed, and I won because others also couldn't make anybody laugh. And I asked I asked one of the mentors who was there, Madam, nobody made anybody laugh in this contest. Why did I win? And then she said, you won because at least you have the structure of the speech. Oh, thank you so much. Huh? And then I asked them, but jokes were very good. Why they did not laugh? Then she said, the jokes were right, but not for this audience. So that's when I realized that audience is very important. That's why one of my mentors, I'm sure you know, Chandil Kumar. Chandil Kumar talks about this wonderful line, one of my favorite lines. He tells, writing a humorous speech without keeping audience in mind is like writing a love letter to whomever it may concern. What is the point? Huh? So, yeah, the next question, please.
Okay. So the next question is by Toastmaster Adil, who is also the timer.
Okay. I think he's intentionally asking this question. Okay.
So the question is, what to do when the joke goes flat or it turns out to be inspirational as mentioned by you?
Wonderful. Participate in the next year's ISC contest. You already have a speech. Just no, I mean it happens sometimes. So the way I used to approach in the initial days was I would give a speech in one club, and let us say if I get 2 laughs, and I did not get any more laughs, I would take the feedback, go to the next club, and I would aim for 3 laughs. And every time I repeat a speech, I would keep increasing that, until I reach a level of like 7 or 10 laughs per speech. There might be times where you might have got 10 laughs in 7 minutes after working on a speech for 1 month, and then you deliver the same speech in another club and nobody laughs. So which means if a joke worked 10 times and it did not work one time, blame it on the audience. Audience are the idiots in that one time. Okay, rest of the time the audience are very important, but that one time audience are very bad. Sometimes it happens. See, some of the clubs, I'm not kidding, this is a true story. Some of the clubs in Hyderabad, uh, the club strength is so less that everybody was participating and only judges are there in the audience. Now, as the judges, we are always worried, should we laugh or should we be serious? And most of the times we'll be serious only. So they might be thinking, oh, these people are not laughing, but we are judging. You understand? So it's a moral dilemma. That's why I stopped judging. I just go and I come back. Okay, okay, and then the next question.
Okay. So
So
we
Nidhi,
have
you
the
need to stop me, otherwise I'll just keep getting carried away, and probably this will extend for 1 more hour. Okay. So you stop me, it's okay. I don't mind. Okay, I
so
won't stop you. Please ask question.
this will be our last question for tonight.
Then I can go on for 10 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So the last question for tonight is from the area director of Area A1, Toastmaster Rohin. And his question is it necessary to include a message in the humorous speech?
No, you need not. A lot of people confuse specific purpose with message. Actually, it's not. Every speech need to have a specific purpose, but every speech need not have a message. Now, what is the specific purpose? Specific purpose is the point you want to convey to the audience. So through your humor, let's say if I want to convey to the audience that Instagram is bad, that's not a message. That is just a point I'm trying to convey. So it need not have a message, but let us say if you're giving a ISC speech and your specific purpose can be a message and your ISC speech also can be a humorous speech. When I unfortunately I won a division level ISC and I qualified for district, but I did not go to district because of some exams. So when I gave that speech, when I qualified for ISC district level, my speech was humorous. Like it was a humorous speech for like 6 minutes, and last 1 minute it was a little emotional. So it's up to you. It need not be a message, but you can definitely give a message in humorous speeches also. And a lot of times, if you can give a message through humor, it sticks with the audience. So it's up to you. So it need not be a message, but there should be definitely a point you want to convey to the audience. If there is no point to convey to the audience in a humorous speech, then that is not a humorous speech, that is stand-up comedy. That is the difference between stand-up comedy and humorous speech. Stand-up comedy doesn't have any point, but every humorous speech need to have a point. What is the point you are trying to convey to us? So that's the difference. Okay. So is that all? That's done? All questions?
Yes, it's done.
Okay, fine.
Thank
Before
you.
I hand it over to you, I think I just have one final obligation to do, and that is let's quickly recap whatever I taught in the first few minutes. That is, the first one, select a topic. Okay, the second one, try to have a point you want to convey to the audience. Third one, come up with observations related to that topic, and then for every observation, come up with an example. And to this example, please add this setup and twist wala concept. Okay, examples need to be written and rewritten again and again. And with respect to body language and voice modulation, be emotional about whatever topic you choose, and body language and voice modulation will be taken care. And try to be the same person off stage and on stage. That is the greatest thing which you can do to anybody. So with this, I hope you had a good time, and I hope it was useful. And thank you. Back to you, Nidhi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajshekhar. It was an amazingly informative session, and what a beautiful message you've given us all. That is to be shameless, and that content is the queen. Can we all have a tremendous round of applause for Toastmaster Rajshekhar? I'm sorry, due to time restrictions, we couldn't answer all of your questions, but I'm sure if we pass those questions to Toastmaster Rajshekhar, he could answer those questions in his free time. Now, I would request the Zoom master to please present the certificate to Toastmaster Rajshekhar. Please share your screen. A huge round of applause for Toastmaster Rajshekhar again, because he deserves it. He made us laugh throughout the session tonight and also explained us how to make others laugh. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajshekhar, for being here with us tonight. We're all very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And let me tell you all that we have a month to prepare for the contest. And I'm sure after today's session, many of us in this room will definitely be prepared for the humorous speech contest and also try to be a stand-up comedian. I know that I will at least try after learning these points. I wish all of you a very happy learning time. Do gear up for the humorous speech contest, and I wish you a fantastic learning experience. I'm sure that I speak on behalf of everyone in this room that we have witnessed a masterclass on how to approach a humorous speech. What a splendid session we have concluded. Delivering a humorous speech is by no means an easy task, but Toastmaster Rajshekhar guided us in the most humorous way and the easiest way possible. Remember the words by Toastmaster Rajshekhar that you are enough, and the balance of all the ingredients is very necessary. I would like to reiterate all the points that he mentioned for the last time. That is, take relatable topics, and 80% of the audience should relate to those topics. Convey the points that are relatable. Come up with observations of the topic. Come up with examples and have a setup and punchline. And at the end, set it up and have a twist. Thank you all for being here tonight and having a splendid session with all of us. Oh, that is so sweet. I am so proud of you, Nidhi. Thank you all for being here with us tonight, and thank you, Toastmaster Neha, for inviting Toastmaster Rajshekhar. Have a good night, and see you all in the next session of Advantage very soon. Thank you, and have a good night. Bye bye.